The following program was paid for by Southern American Media. Fox 30 WGBC invites you to the talk of all the towns in East Mississippi and West Alabama. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace.
And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Candace joins us here.
I am.
Well, you kind of match Cater's market.
I do.
There.
I've got the green on this morning. Yeah.
Hi, is everybody? We do hope fine. And what a night we had of weather. It rattled. We had a lot of warnings that were fired off. We did see some severe thunderstorm warnings for this area. And then south of us around midnight, we got that tornado warning that was issued for Jasper County and for Clark County. And it started out very strong, and I was afraid that we were going to have something touch down. We ended up in Clark County, as we spoke to Chief Deputy Barry White, some power lines down and some limbs, and that was it. Fortunately, when that started off in that southeast corner of Jasper County, it had a punch, and once it made it into Clark County, it slowed down and it became a huge rain and wind event. There was a lot of people up watching that, and one of the few times, and the reason I did this, and I'll continue to do this, when it's an overnight storm, when it's definitely a tornado warning, at midnight, you do need to wake people up and say, pay attention. There's nothing worse than being caught in your bed and not even knowing that there's a storm. So I had urged people to wake others up as it was headed right toward Quitman.
I will do that. I'll call people. I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning. They probably don't like me at the moment.
Yeah, but it's better than losing your life.
Right.
And if you got ugly pajamas on, I mean, who wants to see that?
Just wear pajamas. Wear something. Yeah. But no, it got like really heavy rain at our house, and thunder and lightning just kept on going all night.
We got a lot to show of what went on over the area last night, of things that happened that went bump in the night. We did have a structure fire reported on Poplar Springs Drive last night. Now, what happened was the house got hit by lightning. No one was hurt. The fire department, I'm telling you, them boys work hard down there. As we pull this up, this would be, let's click on that picture there as I can read it better, the 3000 block of Poplar Springs Drive. It struck, and in the attic, a lot of smoke, and I think it was the insulation that was trying to burn, and they got that put out quickly, thank heavens.
Yes. That's scary. You know?
Yeah, it's one of those things. I've never had a home struck by lightning where it caused a fire, but if you'll remember, what was it, just out in the Clarkdale community back in the summer, somebody's house, and it burnt to the ground.
Yeah, are you talking about the one in the big subdivision? Yeah. It had a metal piece on the top of it, I think, on like an ornamental looking piece of iron, and I don't know if that's what drew the lightning to it. I don't know, but yeah, that was bad.
It sure was.
We lost just about everything, I think.
And that stuff happened so quickly. We had numerous wrecks around town yesterday. Let's talk about a few of these. As we often hear, we'll hear Harry Mayer's name brought up. Harry Mayer's over by Harry's, over by Walmart.
That intersection is the dangerous one.
Yesterday was no differently, as we see that somebody ran off the road there. Up into the bushes they went. Messed up their day.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any serious injuries involved with that one, but it sure slowed down their roll for the day.
Yeah, it was messy. I'm going to tell you, my son and I were out, my little one. We were out in town, and it was raining. It was just a messy day to be on the road. It really was.
It was. Let's go to Clark County. Let's talk about this. As the wrecks started piling up yesterday, we go to Clark County Hot Topics this morning. And as we see this one, boy, look at that.
Airbags that look like deployed.
That's most likely going to be a total loss on that car for them. I-59 is where that happened. Of course, Clark County Sheriff's Department showed up. It messed that car up. Little Honda. Is that a Pilot? Is what that is? I believe so.
I'm not sure. An Infinity, maybe? I don't know.
Something
what
that effect. And here's a look of Clark County's finest all over the situation down there. And they did. A big thank you to everybody that responded to that. Mississippi Highway Patrol was slammed yesterday as they tried to respond to everything that was going on in the areas.
I bet.
Just wasn't enough of those boys. Now, long about the afternoon, I don't know if you were trying to get to Meridian, it was virtually impossible. Why? Started to be pile up after pile up. We had about 6 wrecks within an hour's time, and then it got to be, okay, something's causing this. It's in the same place. And it ended up being there was a slick spot, an oily spot on I-20 coming into town. campers wrecked, destroyed them.
Gosh.
Total loss. And I want you to look at this traffic line as people sat there at least 2 hours. And we'll show you the video of where they showed up with all the sand. That's all they could do to fix the problem. But here's as far as the eye can see is traffic trying to make it into Meridian. Couldn't get there. Just stuck. And I do hope somebody had a bag of Doritos, because there's nothing worse than being stuck in traffic with nothing to eat in your car.
Oh, I don't know. It could be you could have to go to the bathroom. That would be awful.
That's called, I got to go 10-100 to the bushes. See y'all. I'll be right back.
Oh, good. Yeah, that would be bad, though. But to be stuck in the traffic at all would be awful.
It was bumper to bumper as we look at these pictures of what went on yesterday. And I feel for these folks of just how bad it was. Here's a view of going down the highway somebody sent me of running into that traffic. Now, if you were going toward Jackson, it was great. You
know, and the worst thing, too, is to be at the back of the line where you don't know what is going on and you have no idea how long you're going to be there, you know.
And so let's look at what caused all those people to be piled up. Look at this. That was a camper.
Oh, my gosh.
And I promise you, this was like the 5th or the 6th that happened in that same location there. It was slick. Yeah. And people would lose control of their car, and off in the ditch they went. With these, there were no serious injuries, but it was, again, wreck after wreck. If you've ever seen I-20 with nothing on it, this is what it looked like. We went out, we got this shot of it. I didn't even see a mouse or a rabbit cross the road.
I don't know. I wonder did something just spill from a vehicle?
Most likely, it was some form of a oil spill, slick spot out of an axle, something that come off the back of a trailer, a bucket full of oil, and it made havoc. Here's before they disconnected the truck. Let me see if I can blow that up just a little bit bigger there. Simmons Wrecker on scene, and of course that's what's left of his camper. He's still hooked to it, but he ain't got nothing to take home, does he?
So I wonder it didn't roll the truck.
That can happen.
Goodness.
We've seen that.
Whoever that is. That's awful.
An expensive mistake is when those happen. Now, and you wonder, how do they fix that? This is what it was truckload after truckload brought in, and this is what made you sit in traffic and sit and stare at your watch. Okay, nobody wears a watch anymore. They looked at their phone. Let's just tell the truth. Timex is in a bad shape now. Yeah. Have you noticed nobody wears them?
A lot of people don't wear watches anymore.
I don't have one.
I have one. If I wear, I'm weird about mixing my stuff, but if I wear a silver or something, I wear my watch. But I like to have a watch on my arm because I can, glance at it at any time. I ain't got to pick my phone up when I'm working.
I just can't remember to put that many objects on my body. I do good to put my wallet in my front pocket. But let's look at this. This is what goes on, what you were waiting on. And if you're ever in a pilot and you're going, what's happening here? This is what it is. Let's look at this. This is the Mississippi Department of Transportation showing up to the scene, trying to make it to where you could get home. And that's what it looks like. They go down through there and they throw out this sand, and it takes that slickness off of the highway.
Yeah.
And so it took 5 or 6 loads of this dirt, and so they had to go get it, the sand, and then come back.
I'm glad they got it taken care of, though, and there wasn't any more wrecks.
It wasn't at that time. We weren't so fortunate in other areas, and we're going to tell you all about that in a moment. We're going to talk about Quitman. Anybody watching from Clark County? Y'all just had like a regular fishing rodeo right downtown.
It's a lot of rain.
Yeah.
A lot of rain fell at one time.
We'll talk about that next. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back. Scotty Ray and Candace as we start this. Today's Wednesday, right? I'm confused.
Yeah, it is. It's
okay,
Wednesday.
We'll be right back. If you're an outdoorsman, Garrett's Outfitters is a place to head to in Meridian. They have a complete line of gloves to keep your hands warm in these cold mornings, toboggans to block that wind, and America's favorite Carhartt, from the rugged overalls to slacks and shirts. Work boots and mud boots as well. Browse around the gun accessories and a complete line of just about any gun. Protect your investment, your guns, with one of the many Browning gun safes they have to choose from. For the outdoorsman in your family, it's Garrett's, 3505 8th Street, Meridian. Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 invites you by to take a look at a brand new product they've got. Odes, ATVs, and UTVs.
These side-by-sides range from 800 to 1,000 cc's, and they come with heat or air. Whether you're doing work around the farm or hunting, they've got the unit just for you to keep warm or cool, depending upon that Mississippi and Alabama day. Swing by for a test drive today at Freeman Tractor. See coleslaw, buttermilk, and don't forget you can meet their newest employee, Eggplant. That's Freeman Tractor, Highway 494.
Have you been in an auto accident? Call Will Parker. Get the help you deserve. Call Will Parker. Don't settle for less and know your rights. Call Will Parker. Call or go online at parkerfirm.net. Call your Meridian lawyer, Will Parker.
And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Candace is in with this morning. Big old smile on. Where'd you get the necklace?
This one?
Yeah, did you get that?
I bought this, I think I got it at Glitz and Glamour a while back, a couple of years ago. It's been a little while, but yeah.
She actually keeps up with her
wear
stuff.
It's a little tassel necklace. Yeah.
Does anybody else have this problem? I got an older Cadillac that I've got out there in my shop, and I went to move it, and I went to my key rack, and it wasn't there, and then I go, oh yeah, it's in a pocket. And
gosh.
I don't know what jacket pocket that it's in. I just remember feeling it a month or so ago, and I couldn't find the keys to my car. So I got to hunt those today.
Yeah. Gosh.
The things you misplace.
I misplace stuff all the time, though. I'm getting awful about it. Every morning I have to find my keys. And I have a key ring thing right by the door, like a little hook thing. I just don't put them on there. But
I thought it was in my Carhartt jacket, which would be the smart thing to do. That thick coat, you keep everything in. Mm-hmm. Your survival jacket, in case you get lost there, an Alka-Seltzer Cold Plus in one pocket.
Mm-hmm. Don't you love though when you put on like a jacket from you hadn't worn in a year or so, and you find like a $20 bill?
Yeah. It's
or a
always nice.
$5 bill. Yeah, find any money or something.
Just don't let other family members dig in your pockets. They'll take all your stuff, claim it to be theirs.
Clean you out. Yeah, they will.
Let's go to Quitman. Again, as we mentioned, it was some ferocious weather there yesterday. And as we pull this up, let's look at this. As we go there, this is downtown Quitman with the rain. Look at the floodwaters.
I wouldn't even try to drive through that.
That is... I've never seen that much rain in downtown Quitman in my life.
I would have never tried to drive through that in a smaller vehicle or a car. I don't even know if I'd have tried it in mine, but
It'll stall a vehicle.
yeah. It's like it would mess
Joseph
it up.
said, Scotty Ray, that's called getting old is what that really is. You may be true on that. Mm-hmm. Now let's talk about some other things that went on last night throughout the area. We did get reports as most nights there's somewhere somebody just can't stand it. They go, ooh, I got to shoot. Give me my gun. Well, last night was no exception as we head out toward Highland Park area right there, right around Highland Park Drive, 20th Street. Felt the urge, the need to fire at least 4 to 5 rounds in the air, or at least we think it was in the air.
Yeah.
Nothing was injured, no one hurt. No damage to any vehicles that we're aware of at this point. Now, as daylight changes, sometimes you see a little bit different. During the daylight hours, we found out, well, they were shooting over on 4th Avenue. Oof. As we pull this up, right there. This would be over up Highway 39 to the east. Back in here, the apartments in that area, there was gunshots. No one hurt, no one injured. With that, as we keep track, I'm trying to keep track of all these places to where gunfire happens. Highway 39, let's move about an hour later. If you're traveling down Highway 39, you're leaving where the Coca-Cola plant is going north. You pass fire station number 5 on the right. In between there and the next gas station, well, they weren't so lucky. They got a vehicle struck by lead last night as a vehicle was struck by gunfire. It was a Tahoe. Involved in that was an Impala. Don't know that they have officially finished investigating this, but I do know that one vehicle was struck with gunfire last night. No one was hurt. Somehow, the vehicle didn't end up so good.
Right.
Now, the sad part about all that is, now, each time we tell you these things, and fortunately so far no one's been hurt. If you will remember, we had someone lose their life about right there last year coming out of the gas station. They were shot at that intersection there in the medium. We had someone lose a life there last year.
Yeah.
We're starting to see in that stretch of road there some bad things happen.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but that's the God's honest truth of what's going on in that area. So keep it in mind.
People are so sick of that. I mean, they are so sick of it. everybody.
Let's go to this was somewhere, I'm going to guess. I was up most of the night, and I've kind of lost track of what time this happened and that happened. But I know that I'd finished the broadcast, and I had gone back, and I was sitting on the bed talking to Ellie, and she was telling me about that fabulous bone that she'd just gotten, and she loved it. She really enjoyed it. We would find out that there had been an accident in the College Park area. We had someone struck and killed last night as we go here. A pedestrian was killed in the early morning hours. This would be in the 1100 block of Highway 19 North that they lost their life. Now, what we don't know is what caused the accident. Did they walk out in front of somebody? I'm just unsure at this point how that happened. We hope to find out more details on this as daylight breaks. We certainly hope so. But in the sad part of things, we do know someone lost their life.
It's awful.
Did they stumble? Did they fall? Did they walk out purposely? We don't know. Yeah. Not long ago, right down from there where Burger King is, we had someone struck on a bicycle. They got a little too close to the road and they were hit.
That's a busy street too. I don't know about in the middle of the night, but still, it's just it's horrible though. It's horrible for the the families of the people who do lose their lives, and also for the ones that are driving, because that just affects.
Oh yeah, you never
be a lasting effect on somebody.
Never get over anything like that. It's just that's the way it is.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the more serious stuff, and not that that's not serious, but some more accidents that happened last night. Within a 1 hour period, we lost 3 lives in our community. 1 hour, and it was all over. We started out with a wreck on I-20. It would involve an 18-wheeler and a pickup truck, and someone would lose their life. Just horrible that happened. We do not know the name of that yet. We will hopefully get all of this later today and be able to announce that. We had another wreck right after that, the 3000 block of Highway 19 South. This would be right out by Camp Bonacci where the Boy Scouts is.
Right.
And if you will remember, not long ago, a lady from Florida was killed almost in the same place there. A very dangerous place, apparently, when it rains. We do know that the car was occupied by 2 people. 1 person was ejected from the car. As a matter of fact, each one of these wrecks that we're talking about, someone was ejected.
Yeah. And that's just a 2-lane right there.
Yeah.
So, you don't know if somebody... I wouldn't try to pass, is what I'm saying, in an area like that.
Very well could have been a weather event that caused this. The car was thrown into the wood line, into the trees. 1 person thrown from the car. Then we would find out, as we were doing the first thunderstorm warnings, that an accident had happened. We were checking the counties around, and I found out that an accident had happened in Kemper County. This would be east of DeKalb, headed toward Scuba as you go past about where the roadside park used to be. And we have to refer to that as the used to be place, where East Mississippi Sportsman Association is, right along there, the hunting camp. I think most people know that building.
Right.
We would have someone else lose their life in a head-on collision. We did find out in the beginning that someone also was ejected from the vehicle, and then someone was trapped in the car. And that was a horrible scene. Highway 16 was shut down. You could not travel in between Scuba and DeKalb at all last night for a period of about an hour and a half till they cleaned that up. It was a deadly head-on collision with a small car, and it looked to be like a Dodge Ram, maybe a 2500 Bighorn package that was involved in that. And the small car, just in comparison to that truck, it did not fare well. We pass along condolences. I'm understanding that it's a possibility that the person that lost their life was from Scuba, is what I was being told at the scene last night. No names have been released. And again, as you look at both sides of that fence, that's a hard pill to swallow, to have been a wreck and someone lost their life.
Goodness.
As Jerome said, unfortunately, the coroner has been busy lately. He has. That's just the truth of the matter.
Yes.
So as we find out more about this and we get names, we'll release that as the day progresses here with everything that has gone on. I'm telling you, yesterday was just one of those.
Yeah. It would be it was a tragic day.
Yeah. It almost like it had 6s in it somewhere, but it didn't. But it was a rough day, to say the least. We did have some shoplifting go on during all those storms. Busted up in the Dollar General out on 19 and grabbed them some hair care products. About 4 of them. Everybody got a handful. Come on, get what you want. Let's leave.
I guess the thieves never rest.
They don't.
They take every opportunity to take advantage.
I don't think they were caught, but that was not nice to be doing that.
Yeah. Well, maybe the hair care products that they stole won't be good for them.
You never know. As I got a text there, was talking about from Burger King there on 8th Street all the way up there at 19. There's a lot of foot traffic in that area, and somebody can stumble in the street. And what is going to happen, I can't tell you how many times last year I reported someone was laying in the street.
Yeah.
Now, whether that was from alcohol use or from what you would call a drug, or maybe they just got tired. I don't know what it was, but there were several occasions that people were laying in the street. I got video of it. It happened.
Yeah, there's mental issues that people have that possibly could be from drug-related stuff. I don't know.
Climbing a building naked. That usually has something to do with that.
Yeah, it does.
Partaking in products that you shouldn't.
That's right. But just in general, I see more people walking around, like walking the streets and stuff, than I ever have. It just seems like now. So you have to be extra careful.
Ellis says that I may have put 2022 on today's date on the show. I may have done that. We'll get that changed in a little bit. I didn't even catch it.
That's a hard thing to change, though, because like I said the other day, I've been putting 2022 on stuff for
a year.
Forever.
I've been doing that in here.
Yeah, it's hard.
Whoops.
I have to change that, but.
Boy, a lot of people showed up statewide. I did see where Taterbug went on down. He signed the proper paperwork. He's going to be running for governor again for re-election. We see that. Let me see here, make sure we don't have anything. Okay, We've got a wreck that just occurred. This is coming to us live as we watch this. An 18-wheeler is wrecked at I-59 at mile marker 148 just before the split in the northbound lane. The trailer is jackknifed and it went down into the wood line. So if you're going to be coming into Meridian again, that is mile marker 148. That's right there in that big curve as you're coming into Meridian. We have a wreck there, northbound, which would mean coming into Meridian. The streets are wet, and we had a bad wreck earlier this morning in Meridian with injuries there in front of the Dollar General. We don't know if this is any injuries involved with this. We'll find out as we learn more about this, but breaking news as we find this out.
Yeah.
Let me send a text here so I can find out more about that.
Gosh, it's just, when it rains, though, especially if it hadn't rained in a little while, there's all the oils on the road from the cars. I mean, you wouldn't think that there would be unless there was a spill, but it gets on there just with the traffic from everyday traffic. But
it does now.
And when that rain hits it, it just makes it slick.
As I mentioned, Meridian, Mississippi, just a moment ago, and this happened it was about 30 minutes before you got here. I would assume there in front of the Dollar General, it's kind of tight getting where the old bank is, where you cut across there. I would assume that's probably what happened there.
Gosh.
All right. As we talked about everybody that was getting elected, I got somebody that's going to pass by there and do a drive-by for me and let us know just how bad that accident is. Billy Adam Calvert has headed down also. As we pull this up, he has qualified for re-election. Let me make sure that I've got the right button there. I do. And he's going to seek re-election, District 83, the House of Representatives. As we see all that, a lot of folks done this. As mentioned, Taterbug went down. No one has signed up to run against Tater just yet.
Who's going to sign up for that?
It will be somebody is. He's not as strong. Who is this signing paper with the star of Meridian? I'm telling you, a lot of people took their picture with this young lady yesterday, and she had it going on. She had on a red blouse. She was looking all sexy up in the courthouse.
Miss Donna Gill.
Donna Gill made a lot of pictures. Who's that? Ward Calhoun signing up to run for sheriff of Lauderdale County. As he does his paperwork, he is now qualified to run. As we come across, who's this right behind him? Well, we've got Ricky Roberts also running for sheriff of Lauderdale County. To my knowledge, these are the only two that have qualified to run for sheriff. This will be an interesting race, to say the least. It will be one of the most talked about races of what's going on. Now, as we look at sheriff, we know that in Clark County, that Todd Kemp is not going to seek reelection. So there's a lot of folks coming up going, I should be that man. We'll keep a close tab on that. We're hearing that there will be a challenger now to James Moore in Kemper County. What will happen there? I think James has been sheriff for 16 years. Is it time for a change? The voters will decide that in Kemper County. We'll see that. We'll get a complete list from the courthouse in Kemper County to find out what's going on with there. And we'll get into Donna Gill's list here in just a second. District 1 supervisors, a lot of folks signing up here also as we see Devin Snowden signing his paperwork to run.
Because as we know, I guess Justin Wells, is that who? He left that position or is leaving that position, and he is running for coroner.
And then we also see here Chris Bullock signing up District 1. He's going to be running. Now, I do not have pictures of our other two. We've got J.J. Anders is going to be running for that also. And also on the Democrat side, Tyrone Johnson has signed up to also run for Supervisor District 1. So that's a highly sought after little race there.
Yeah.
We'll see what becomes of that. As we go across there. As we look here, let's pull up Donna Gill's typed out list. Boy, she's a fast typer. I can't even hang with her. But here's a list for Lauderdale County if you're looking at this. County attorney, no one running against Tommy Horn. As you see Ward and Ricky Roberts, they're running for sheriff. Chancellery clerk, I said that wrong, didn't I?
Yeah, well, it's okay.
Miss Carolyn, she's seeking re-election. Donna Gill, you're on the ballot?
Yeah.
That happened so quick there. Tax assessor, no one's running against Doris as we go down this list. And those are the four that we just mentioned there. And we get over to Supervisor District 2, Wayman. We have no one running against him. No one running against Josh Todd at this point. And still, you got until February 1st?
I think so, yeah.
Supervisor District 4, Joe Norwood. Also the same thing with Cal, no one running against him. Now, this is where it gets interesting right here. Justice Court 1, Merritt Berry, Charles Graham, and David Rosenbaum Jr. is going to be running for that. And I'm hearing that there's going to be someone doing an announcement coming up Thursday also seeking this position. We'll be down for that also. Paul, Buck, no one is running against them. No one's running against Tommy Coker either. That's
right. And now Stella McMahon is running for coroner, and also Justin Wells is running for coroner.
Right. That's some more names.
And that is that would be a tough job to do. So
I don't want it.
Yeah. I mean, that would be a very tough job. It would be you'd have to be very dedicated to it. So hats off to whoever signs up to do that, because, you have to have compassion along with, respect and stuff. And I think both of them do have that. So good luck to them.
There you go. Let's see here. A couple of comments about James there. Chris Reed's name being tossed around out there in the comments on that. Chris couldn't find his way down to the courthouse yesterday. Let's see what else is going on as we look at those elections. As we brought up Mississippi, and this is what is so sad about yesterday. As we found out this at daybreak, we lost 4 lives. Over the entire state of Mississippi of New Year's Eve, we lost 2 lives. And look at the difference in between yesterday and today. I hate that anybody lost their life, but yesterday was one of our deadliest days that we've had in quite some time there. The Mississippi Highway Patrol, they printed up extra copies there and gave them a lot of paper in their patrol cars so they could do this. 8,000 tickets was written.
Goodness.
8,000, y'all. There was blue lights everywhere. They had 167 people that might have had a nip or two, partaking behind the wheel, so to speak.
Even though, there's always going to be those that do that.
Oh, yeah.
It's just scary, though, because, like I said before when we were talking about people going to parties and stuff, people seem to think they're bulletproof and, nothing's going to happen, and they've got this, and you just don't know how impaired you are when you get behind the wheel. Some people don't. They think that they're fine. And
203 crashes over the New Year's Eve weekend, wrecks.
Yeah.
And again, 2 of those ended up deadly there. We had a couple of people talking about Jonathan Wells. Did we say something wrong about Jonathan?
I said Justin. I'm so sorry. Jonathan Wells. I'm so sorry. Sorry.
Jonathan, get on her.
I'm awful, y'all, about stuff. I'm sorry. Why did I say Justin? So sorry.
You had somebody named Justin in your mind.
Justin Wells. I don't even
It
know.
is, Kay. You're
Jonathan
absolutely.
Wells. I'm so sorry, Jonathan. Yeah.
He'll forgive
Yeah,
you there.
I'm sorry.
It starts with a J, and he wants you to put an X by his name, Candace. That's how that works there. Let's see what else is going on here. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about what happened on this day, and we're also going to talk about as bodies are recovered from the Gulf of Mexico. We've got a lot still to talk about what's going on in the communities. Y'all don't rush off. We'll be right back. More coming up with Scotty Ray and Candace as we start your Wednesday.
One of the most important places to you is your home. That's why Patrick Allen Companies is proud to provide style, functionality, and security to your home. There's nothing quite like a well-designed overhead garage door or vinyl replacement windows, or the safety of a storm shelter to help your family feel protected. Patrick Allen offers doors and windows for commercial and industrial with dozens of innovative designs. Patrick Allen Companies, safety, service, and satisfaction.
J&J Tire and Muffler, located at 3420 8th Street, invites you by. And if you need a front-end alignment, make sure to try their new state-of-the-art alignment machine. No matter the size of your truck and car, J&J can align it. J&J also has touch-free mounting, laser wheel balancing, and as always, they provide preventive maintenance, including CV axles, shocks, struts, brakes. And they even do work on motorcycles. With the largest selection of new and used tires, along with exhaust systems. Locally owned and operated since 1978 in Meridian.
For something as vital as your eyes, you should have your lenses and contacts made with the utmost care and precision. And that's what Grayson Optical does on 24th Avenue. Since 1996, Grayson Optical's mission has been to provide Meridian and surrounding areas with quality eye care products. That's why we're locally owned and operated. And don't forget, custom-made sunglasses like Costa for your eyes only. When you need to see clearly, Grayson Optical. 2021 24th Avenue, Meridian. 601-693-6374.
Well, as we return to the Farm Supply, they're open for business this morning. They got a lot going on if you hadn't been down to the Farm Supply lately. As we take a look at so much here, as we've got corn products. Ooh, if you need anything for your horse and cattle, they got it lined up for you there at the Farm Supply. And something that we can't leave off that's very important. You got a shovel?
Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last time you broke one?
Yeah.
I went to use one the other day. Mine was broke. I'd forgotten about that.
I know. The handle will sometimes break.
Make sure you're up prepared for all this. See, they even got plenty of handles here to replace on your axe or whatever it is that you have. You can still do that. You don't have to buy a whole new one. You just replace the handle there. Lots to choose from there. And work gloves. Why get a blister when you don't have to? Get you a good pair of gloves and it'll be with you. Now, I'm the world's worst of losing my gloves, so get you 2 pair. Have an extra pair on the shelf. They've got that nails and anything that you're looking for right there inside the Farm Supply. Easy to find, locate. If you need a chair, they got that to sit on the front porch. Maybe it's a swing you need. Whatever, they've got it, including jackets, because it will turn cold again. We ain't out of this yet.
That's right.
Jackets and a whole lot more there with caps and things to keep you warm, sunglasses, keep that old sunshine out your eyes as you go down the road. And deer season as we head toward January 31st. The rut is on in our area. Make sure you're lined up with tinks and any attractant that you might need. It's all happening there at the Farm Supply with boots and a whole lot more. And as we said, all for your horse and cattle. That's what they do. Lauderdale County Farm Supply. Charlene, how are you today?
Yes. She's up and at 'em this morning. Miss Charlene Etheridge.
Said it looks good on you to green.
Thank you.
Joseph said you had a senior moment.
I did have a senior moment. I can't believe that I called Jonathan just.
I have senior moments all the time. Like when I go to the refrigerator and I go, why am I here? Anybody? And then you sit down and you can't remember what you're watching on TV.
Well, I told you about me one time chewing my children out for putting the milk in the cabinet, you know, because I was like, do you know how much milk costs? And now I really would chew somebody because everything's gone up.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, I did it. And I thought, I don't remember doing it. I guess I thought I opened the refrigerator and put the milk in. No, I put it in the
We've all
cabinet.
done stuff like that.
Yeah.
I put my binoculars in the refrigerator one time. Well, I was going to set them on top of the refrigerator for whatever reason it was, and I opened it up and put it in there, and about 10 minutes later, I thought, did I do that? Yeah. And I walked by, and sure enough.
Look, I have taken, when I go to unlock my house door, my keypad on my car and try to open my door. What in the world do you think? And then looking at a regular photograph.
Yeah.
You know how you're used to blowing it up?
You
have
try
you ever done that?
No, I can't say I've done that one.
Done that. Been there, done that. Yeah.
Candace got one on me.
Yeah.
As we roll back time, let's go back to 1953. It was January the 4th in Montgomery, Alabama. 20,000 people would flood the streets of Montgomery, Alabama for one of the biggest funerals that ever happened in that city. It would be the funeral of Hank Williams as they lined the streets. The Grand Ole Opry came. Most of the members, Roy Acuff, was in attendance and did sing at the funeral as one of their own passed away, and people just wanted to see him. They felt a connection to Hank Williams. He represented them. He was a common man that just accidentally made it big. He didn't ask for it. I don't think he ever understood how he became so popular. I really don't.
Yeah.
But Lord, that man was good at what he did. One of the prettiest women that I have ever bumped with. I even got to slow dance with her many moons ago. I think she stepped on my toe, and I told her it'd be okay. Patty Loveless has a birthday today. She was born back in 1957, and she is such a singer.
Yeah, I love listening to her.
If my heart had windows, she is. Just a great girl there. 1930, he's passed away now, but each and every one of you will know this man. He celebrated a birthday on this date, and forevermore, the 1970 Cadillac, every time you look at one, you think of this man. Who am I talking about? Boss Hogg. Saul Brooke was born on this day back in 1930. Hard to believe that he's passed on.
I know.
Jefferson Davis Hogg.
Yes. He played a good role in the Dukes of Hazzard. He was funny.
Oh, he was.
He was always had that bucket of chicken eating it. Remember that?
Yeah. Him and Roscoe, Flash, and the whole gang.
What was his wife's name?
Lulu.
Lulu.
I married your fat sister. She's going to move back in with you. Well, balls.
Goodness.
1966. Let's go down the road, and you'll remember her from, what was a couple of songs?
Strawberry Wine.
Strawberry Wine, yeah. Wasn't one of my favorites, but it was a hit. I know that. It was.
Yeah.
It was more of a chick song, I think.
Yeah, and let's see. I heard this one this morning. Did I shave my legs for this?
I remember that.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah, I hope she did. Kind of rough there. As we go back, Dina Carter celebrates a birthday today. Born in 1966. Was her big birthday there. She's kind of gone by the wayside. You don't hear her name a whole lot there. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't she the one that showed up barefooted and had a little piece of carpet on everything she done?
No, she did that, but also...
I think it's someone else.
Yes, well, I think she did. She was barefooted a good bit, but there was another one that I can't think of what her name is. I'll think of it in a minute. But she was barefooted a good bit.
Pat Green also done that. And I remember going, Pat Green, his one song to fame was Wave on Wave. He's huge in Texas. He had one hit nationwide, but he had that little piece of carpet and ran around barefooted. Never quite caught on with me while those folks were doing that.
Yeah.
Let's turn back the pages a little bit more. Go back to 1983. I remember the first time I heard this, and I thought, now that is way cool. It was about 6 minutes long. Well, it wasn't quite that long. It would be, my home's in Alabama was 6 minutes and 30 seconds, if I remember. This was a long one, especially the extended version. Anybody remember Mountain Music?
Yeah. The end is what's the longest, with the instrumental part, where it just keeps on.
But
like
Alabama.
And all that, yeah.
They really did Fort Payne, Alabama, a lot of good. They had their concert there for so many years, and they gave all the money to the charities around Fort Payne. And as we lost Teddy this past year, one of the celebrities that faded away, hard to believe that somebody from Alabama could pass away, isn't it? Just it shocks you.
I know. We lost so many, though, people, actors and actresses.
I ain't getting along with this getting older thing.
I know. Well, what's scary is, and I don't know how to say scary, it's just unusual to me. I mean, I've never seen the amount of people in their 40s and young ages. I've just never seen that amount of people passing away. It makes you wonder.
It does. A lot of things happened in 1974, but on a national level, you'll remember that it was the day that Richard Nixon said, I ain't handing you my tapes. You ain't listening to them. We all know how that ended in the end, but that happened on this date back in 74, if anybody can remember that. Now, this was a funny TV show that I enjoyed. It was different. It debuted tonight in 1984 as we would see Night Court for the first time.
Yeah.
This gentleman here recently passed away. He hasn't been passed away very long. It was funny.
Who was the tall guy that was...
Lurch.
I mean, I can't remember what their name. I can't remember the characters' names, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was a cute show. Hope you enjoyed that as well. For the first time, and we got a misspelled word alert coming up. Y'all don't hold it against me. I was in a hurry when I typed this out. But in 2007, it would go down in history. Doesn't mean you have to like everything about history, I don't think. But it did happen, and it's a noteworthy event that it happened. As we pull up, that Nancy was the first woman to be female Speaker of the House. And yes, that zipper is stretched there. I had a lot of people ask me about that. It is about to bust. And that's all I'm going to say about that. One wrong move, and it's hit by a flying zipper.
She needs to get her some Spanx.
2021. Anybody remember watching Charlie's Angels? Now, of course, the first thought you're going to think of is Farrah and the little short-haired girl and Jacqueline Smith. Short-haired girl, I can never remember her name. But those roles, after they got rid of Farrah, would change over and over, and Cheryl Ladd would be a part of it. There's 2 or 3 of them I don't even remember. This girl, I remember her face. If you were to put me in a chair and say you've got to name her name, I would go, oh. But her name was Tanya Roberts, and she passed away last year on this date at the age of 65. It's hard to believe that an angel is 65. Jacqueline Smith.
She is so pretty.
That's a classy lady.
Yeah, she's very pretty.
And she's tapping 70 somewhere along in there? Maybe a little more?
I want to say she's older than 70, but I might be wrong. But she's aged well. She's very
Kate
pretty.
Jackson, Miss Short-Haired. Thank you for telling me that.
Yeah, she had that kind of bobbed off hair.
Yeah. Yeah, she was very tough.
She was kind of gruff. A little bit gruff.
Yeah, that's a word for it. There's another one that I won't say out loud that I was thinking. She scared me. I'll just say that.
She was the tough acting girl of the bunch.
Her and her Pinto.
She had that kind of raspy voice, you know.
2-pack habit and a Motel 10.
Yeah.
That's a quick look at what happened on this day in history. A lot of things went down, some more things, and I hope you enjoyed looking back at it, remembering a few things with us. Always fun to go down that road and do that.
Yeah, takes you back.
It does. We'll be right back. We got more information to tell you about what's going on locally, nationally. Don't rush off. We'll be right back. As what is Wednesday, right? Yeah.
It is Wednesday.
Are you looking for a trustworthy place to buy your next car or truck? Visit my friends at Massey Supermart Auto Sales. They've been doing business since 1955. There's a reason they've been in business for so long. They have fair prices, superior service, and repeat customers. For your next quality pre-owned vehicle, it's Massey Supermart Auto Sales, taking care of Highway 39 North.
Profit dealer, Massey Supermart.
Meridian's favorite barbecue is Squealer's Barbecue, named the barbecue capital for the state of Mississippi. Whether it's barbecue, wings, or burgers, Squealer's simply has the best for a family environment. Every Thursday night, there's live music out on the porch. Takeout orders are welcome, and whether it's your next tailgate or large catering event, your friends at Squealer's are there to help. Drop in for lunch today or a night out on the town. Squealer's Barbecue, the best in fine barbecue.
Well, as we go to Maple's one-stop shop, one thing they've got a lot of, and that's gasoline. They got several tanks in the ground there. Whatever grade you want, they're going to give you the lowest price they can.
All this food that they cook up every day.
This is all out here in Causeyville. Y'all drop in, get you a biscuit and some gravy. It's good stuff there. Later on, they're going to have lunch for you there, starting at the 31st Avenue, back out at Causeyville. A great lunch. You'll get a couple of vegetables, some meat, some sweet tea. It's all there. Order what you want. You get all fixed up. Coffee at all locations. A great program there as you look at your drinks. Maybe you need a 2-liter. You got a real thirsty habit at lunch.
Yes.
Get you a 2-liter. Oh, they got pizza and, of course, up to $1 million in the lottery. $1 billion. Let me back up.
Oh,
it's up to $1 billion now. Another drawing coming up. And if you want a ticket, well, see them today. Again, lots of locations to pick those up from Causeyville, Pine Springs, Bonita, all the way over to 31st, Broadmoor, and last chance to back there on Highway 493. Get your ticket today. Maybe you'll be the big winner. We hope so. Clark County watching in. Glad to see y'all there.
Yeah, lots of people watching.
We did get a name, and let me pull this back up here as we look at from Night Court.
The tall guy.
Tall guy was Bull Richard is the name I'm being told that his name was.
Is that his name in real life?
I don't know.
Richard Mall was his real name. Okay. Bull is what they called him on the show.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know him personally. I just knew he was big, tall, looked like that guy that used to be on the Monsters or whatever that was, Lurch. He looked a lot like him.
Yeah, he was tall. Goodness.
So, as we look at that, we're finding out this morning as family members start to talk about this, the 4 men that lost their lives in the helicopter crash. This would be out in the Gulf as it went down from a platform, the pilot and 3 workers. And again, one of these being from Clark County, Mississippi. They do know where the copter is, and recovery efforts will bring that up at this point. We don't know why it took so long to get to this point, but we are glad that there is closure now, and this is coming to it will never be to an end for the family members.
Oh yeah,
I almost said that wrong.
Like I've said in the past, the death of a loved one is something you just get through it. I don't know that you ever get over it. So.
I think you're right on that. You really don't. Back in 1968, somebody's got some issues coming this morning at Paramount Pictures. They had a movie out called Romeo and Juliet. The problem when you get into this, they had a 16-year-old and a 17-year-old playing the parts. They forced them in the movie to have a risque scene. They're in their 70s now, and they thought, let's sue them over that. They're suing for $500 million for forcing them as underage to be involved in that act. I'll word it like that.
I mean, how do you force them? Did they hold a gun to them and make them do it? I don't know. I mean, because if you want to go get complicated with it, I mean, Brooke Shields, look.
That was,
the Blue Lagoon, isn't that right? That was kind of...
She may sue, too.
It's a little bit risque there. Yeah.
Everybody sues somebody nowadays. It all started with that hot coffee project, if y'all remember back against McDonald's, when the judge should have stood up and said it had hot written on it. It's coffee. Use some common sense. Yeah. We didn't get that. We'll see we'll watch this case and let you know what happens with this. Have y'all heard about the car that went over the cliff, dropped 250 feet? Everybody in the car survived.
No, I did not hear about it.
Well, as we get deeper into this, we find out now that the father done it on purpose in an attempt to wipe out the entire family.
Oh, my goodness.
Charges are being brought against him. They were driving a Telsa, and it's called Devil's Side, where he drove off the cliff there in California. The kids, we certainly hope they're going to be all right. Had his wife and 2 kids, 4 and 7 years old.
So he was in there?
Or he was driving the car.
Oh.
Which tells us that he's done something wrong and doesn't want to be caught 9/10 of the time. We don't know what it is. I don't know now. But you watch in the upcoming days, we'll find out something about his past. He's done something that he doesn't want to come out and thought he'd take everybody with him. Now, that's one thing to take your own life, which is a bad situation.
Right.
But
That's
don't
horrible.
bother other people, especially your children. They had nothing to do with your decision. Thank goodness they're okay. We'll keep you posted on that also. San Francisco getting prepared for a monster rainstorm to move into the coast. They're expecting flooding to come in there. I looked at the radar just a little bit ago, and there are storms out on the west coast there getting ready to come in. They say it's going to be a lot of flooding take place. We think about them. Yeah. Now, as museums, back in 1940, they were making a delivery to a New York City museum. Problem was the shipment that they had, they didn't have enough room in there for it. Well, instead of doing what let's chunk it in the river. That's what they done. Well, it ends up being ivory tusks that were chunked in there. They're valuing it at $1 billion, each tusk worth about $20,000. And they say it's a pile of it dumped into the river. And they have discovered where that might be, and onlookers are doing their best to swim down and get what they can. 20 grand a tusk. All because they didn't have enough room in the museum at the time. And it was just dumped off the back of the barge.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I had no idea that stuff was worth that much money.
I wouldn't have either, but...
And I guess that's why it gets into the poaching of why so many people kill these animals that have all of that.
Surely to goodness, though, they knew what it was worth.
Well, it wasn't worth that then, 1940.
Well,
the values of all this has just skyrocketed through the years.
Gosh.
All right, let me see here. Let me get back on this incident that we've got going on out on the wreck that we just had coming into Meridian. Right now, Hazmat is there. Lima is on location. Lost Gap is at the accident scene. It's at the 149 mile marker. Again, that's right in the curve coming in. An 18-wheeler lost control, jackknifed and run off into the bushes. That's northbound lane. as we look at that.
Okay.
We get more updates on that before the show is over. We'll let you know what becomes of that. But could be a fuel spill. We don't know. When LEMA is involved and they go to a scene, it's usually something leaking a gas tank or some sort of like that.
I hope they can get it contained, whatever it is.
With that
one
being
area.
said, expect coming into Meridian, northbound lane there in the curve, to be slower traffic because regardless whether it's off the roadway now, it'll be Simmons Wrecker or Lewis Wrecker showing up on the scene, and they'll have to block at least one lane to get that out of there. So be prepared for some slower times. As Joseph said, lots of pianos can be made for those Ivory.
Oh, yeah.
What was that Michael Jackson song, Ivory and Ebony? What was that song?
Ebony and Ivory.
Yeah, I was close.
It was Stevie Wonder, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Stevie Wonder.
Wasn't it him and Michael?
It was two people. I thought it was Stevie Wonder.
It may have been.
I don't know. Maybe not.
Stuck out in my head. We'll have to look that up sometime.
Ebony and Ivory go together in perfect harmony.
I swear, I think Michael Jackson had something to do with it. It seemed like he wrote it and
He
gave
could
it
have.
and
Maybe
gave
it was-
it the funds to somebody or something.
Maybe so. I don't know.
But that's been a while since I read that story there. Long time there. Let's see here. This guy that has done this Idaho murder, y'all.
It was, yeah. It's crazy. You know, it's he killed the four. I guess they were students, right?
Yes.
From Idaho, and now they're saying he studied criminology. He studied something else too, and I think that he thought that was gonna help him out. You know, maybe he had been studying serial killers, I think.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if this is the first time he's done it.
Oh, it could have been a
You
whole
know.
lot more.
So, but it's a horrible thing. And I think he thought maybe he had covered all his tracks because I think he wore gloves a lot, from what I understand. When he would go even to the grocery store, I think I read somewhere where he would wear gloves. And that's just crazy. I hope that he gets, the fullest
Extent of
the law dealt to him. Yeah, the death penalty or something. I mean,
We'll
he deserves that. That's awful for these families. And I watched an interview of a mother and a father of one of the girls, and I think it was Sean Hannity last night was interviewing them. Just to sit there and have to even talk about it would be heart-wrenching to me.
It would be. Let's take a look at what's going on the interstate. As we brought up there the accident, we now have pictures of what's going out there, and this is the scene as we go here. This is what's on I-59 coming in Meridian. We've got the ambulance here, Metro on scene. Pretty serious wreck there, and that is jackknifed, as you can tell, and possibly someone hurt. We'll find out more about that here in the next little bit. We'll be right back. More coming up with Scotty Ray and Candace. Good morning to you.
Health Now is your locally owned medical equipment store. Every person's need is a little different, and they offer a little bit of everything from hospital beds, wheelchairs, reclining back wheelchairs, breathing treatments, CPAPs and supplies. They even have walkers, bath products, and oxygen. And the great thing about Health Now is they offer same-day service. They're open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and on call 24/7. Health Now Medical Equipment, where we treat our patients like family.
The Square Peg Mini Mall, located across from the Neshoba County Co-op in Philadelphia, is a family-owned business that promises to treat you like family. The Square Peg Mini Mall has been in business for over 10 years, and they have over 30 vendors inside, with a rotating inventory to fit that something special that you're looking for. The inventory constantly is updating, and there's always a chance for a surprise when you step inside. Come visit the Square Peg Mini Mall, located at 335 West Main Street, where you'll bump into a friend, and, well, we'll treat you like family. If every time the wind blows you get a little leery about a tree over your house, talk to my friends at Reed Tree Service. There's no reason to be worried about a tree crashing through your house. Mike Reed has years of experience dealing with trees. It can be as simple as having a limb removed or a tree that is just huge too close to your shop or house. It's not going to cost you anything to have Mike come out and give you an estimate. They're licensed and insured, taking care of East Mississippi and West Alabama. Reed Tree Service. Have tree, we'll travel.
Chet's hard at it this morning. They're back at work. They're a new year, and well, they're going to straighten things out for everyone. Call them at 737-2961. No matter the issue that you've got with your car, if you've been involved in these many accidents that's been happening, see them. They'll put it back together like Humpty Dumpty. And that's what they did right here to this 04 truck. It looks better now. I see it all the time. It's back rolling again. They're located out in Center Hill there in the split. As you go to the reservoir, you go 495 toward West Lauderdale Elementary. That's where you'll find Chet. Big building. Can't miss it. You can see that logo a mile away. Drop in and see Chet, and they'll walk you through this, handle the paperwork, and talk to your insurance company for you. Color match your paint. Maybe you got a classic that you want fixed up. Chet can do that also. That's the office. That's where you pull into. Drop in and visit with them. They'll tell you more, get all the paperwork processed for you, and help you out. Good friends, good family, and a great name. Ask around. Chet's Paint and Body right here in the Meridian area. They'll help you. Let's see.
He's staying busy with deer. Deer running out in front of people's cars.
Okay, we got two different answers here. Stevie Wonder, or was it Michael MJ? But it was definitely Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
It was one of those two. I had to Google this and see which one pops up, and I'm sure y'all have. Mm-hmm. Terry wanted to know if I ever sleep. Last night, I did not. Am I grumpy?
Yeah. You might
Sometimes
be.
that lack of sleep will make you a tad bit on the grumpy side there.
I'm usually good until about 2 o'clock the next day, and then I just crash. I feel like I'm fixing to just crash. That happened to me from Christmas Eve. I was up all night. And then,
that's right. Again, if you're just tuning in, we want everybody to know this is the accident that is going on I-59 right there at the split. A truck that is a chip truck that's been involved, that is jackknife. Of course, the street was wet, most likely has caused this accident. We don't know injuries at this point. Mm-hmm. We don't know if there's leakage of some sort, but we got a lot of emergency responders on scene right now. We'll let you know more. We'll be posting all about this here in the next little bit to keep you up to date with the very latest what goes on in the community. I was trying to think here. Didn't we have something else we needed to address? Didn't somebody else ask a question? Maybe not.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think we've been
all over the place, haven't we there?
We have.
Let's see. I was checking to see any other Elon. We got stocks that are crashing. I don't know if you've seen all of this, but 14% so far into the new year. Tesla stock has plummeted. All right, coming to the end of the show, Candace.
It is. They're still battling for the Speaker of the House, so keep that.
That's what it was.
Yeah, they are still trying to decide, but maybe they'll decide something in a hurry because they kind of look like crazy people up there. So
they do.
But y'all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you back at 8 a.m. in the morning, and just enjoy the day.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: